Highline centers, interference, channeling, rotation centers, location to its position locations. All about understanding through all levels of what space is. Space is a communication cycle. It highline centers to all levels of websites, communications, data streams, data interference, data programs, highline center locations. High positions, medium, low position line interference to understand how to set up digital line center line codes, communication interference, high position locations, track line centers, gravity interference, line conditions, program setting, reset line condition interference. So modification signals, it's all in calculation. So today in class, we're going to go through all levels of your phone. You're going to travel through the Privacy Act Line Center and position locations, direct you through your data stream to all levels to your cloud channels, communication interference locations to all levels, setting course line centers to all position, okay? High-level channel line centers and anything that position location opens all track system to its positions, all right? So trying to understand how we're all traveling, how we're all calculated, how we're all modified, how we're all in position locations. I really, guys, want you to understand why it's so powerful to actually see yourself in your own simulation. So understanding the simulation of you is understanding you through data streams, data codes, interline position locations, magnetic highway information system that's given to you through all connections. You have to learn how to travel through that position locations, all right? So when you go through your connections of your phone line center, I got the phone already set up in position location, lacing the lines of perception to your TV reception lines. It's in calculation, modification, wireline centers, interference locations, all levels. Now the cortex division location is set up to wired division. Now we come into a space wall communications, space wall of time and space wall of division. Now the true calculation is how space is set up in a new structure line, a communication cycle, rotation, interference, location, or program setting. All levels of calculation is identified through you, through signals and everything in that position locations. Now, when you come into track interference, I know it's extremely complicated, right? Because I'm in the wires of space now in all universal round line centers. So it affects everything through all position location, activity line centers, gravity interference, platitude division locations, digital locking, digital clocking, digital analyzing line, rotation interference, line condition, rotation system. In calculation is truly understand what you're doing through your wires, traveling through your own line center location, your phones, your computers, or anything like that system. Electronics, electrical line connection interference, magnetic highway informations, magnetic force position locations. You got all levels of magnetic fields in program setting position location. This is all about setting your E fields in high position. So you have to truly understand the intelligence of its phone has its own electrical light connections. Your computer has its own Wi-Fi position locations, and everything through your digital pad has its own computer adaptation system. So it's all calculated, modified through triangulation force. It opens all line center rotation of its position locations. So how's everybody doing today? All right, Belinda, Squad, Unit, Eric, how's it going? Lacey, how's it going? Pam, congratulations, getting over 1,000 followers. Good for you on TikTok. Looking forward to your live. Sarah, how's it going? Ellen, how's it going? Amby, how's it going? Jill, how's it going? Don, how's it going? Terry, how's it going? Airbender, how's it going? Michael, how's it going? Johnny, how's it going? Gypsy, how's it going? Sambo, how's it going? It's great to see everybody. Veronica, how's it going? All right. So it's going to be interesting too, because a lot of people already, the Cinemasters already traveled through their own phones. So the phone line center is already set in position locations. Okay, clearing call line center. It's all about understanding space position locations. Channeling high line center location is what it is through air. Air communication is cycle, interference location and position. Wired disposition line centers, deposits, high position locations. Crypto high line center, encrypted high center line conditions, emblems, copy paste high line interference, linking chain position locations, block chaining line center line rotation interference. Exactly understand what space and time is in calculation, right? So you probably won't understand it. It's extremely high rise line center. But in that position locations, we'll get started. All right, so as you travel through your phone in position line center, this is the phone you guys are going to be traveling. I've set the code line center already in position locations, wire line center and interference. Okay, so you got calculation modifications to code stream. Now the code stream is set up through the code line center at all levels to the crew units and squads and everything through the unit position locations of the GFL, their buying, and the Cinemasters. Now setting the code stream in hidden position location is going to travel you through wireline interference. You're going to feel a little ping, and that ping is going to go through a wire, and that wire becomes its mutation line center. That opens all space line conditions of time. So when you're traveling, you're going through space, it's open air. and time frequency. You're traveling very, very fast. It's just air, space of time, space of wire, space of communication, data stream interference, line connections, all levels. Okay, applied to division locations, coming into the line centers. I really want you guys to understand how to get into all connections, how to use your activity centers in all levels, the singularity of your simulation. Okay, so it's very powerful when you travel through your own phone reception. Okay, send them the code line center code position location is bracket interference. Now we channel position locations, bracket interference. Okay, you come to area code. Area code equals 7-digit line center. Okay, 7-digit. Okay, line center calculation. That's what you're going to be traveling through position locations. Setting code signals and position location. All right, in calculation, I set the code signal locations, all levels. Area code, 7-digit line center equals equation interference. Wire line center and rotation position locations. Traveling through calculation line interference. See the high position locations? That's you and channel line center wire interference. So you're in the middle line center line interference locations, all levels of your anomaly to a switch center. Now that's a command center position location to its high system. In high rotation line conditions, you come into rainbow active stream center in position locations into your bracket code of 3-line center interference, 7-digit line in rotation in calculations to finger point location to its code system. All right, 20 minutes, have fun. Set in signal position location line connections. I'm going to get some water. So knowing exactly what you guys are doing through stream centers or anything data is understanding the uploading, downloading, upgrading, and uplinking system to all what space-time is. It's nothing but websites, track centers, command centers. I mean, really get into your imagination to its core line center, to its phenomenal location, to its all line center. Your job is just basically just understanding more through transmitting and receiving information of you through memory first. But when you reach higher levels, you come into all levels of you through your universal realm of communication to all level line centers, to its area of code, to its digital locations. So when you're tapping in and you're communicating to higher lines channels, it's sure to understand your data stream. So let's go into high interference. To understand what a phone is, position locations. All right. You got battery charge line centers. Let's go into levels. Rectangle communication system. All right. So think of this as your data stream. Okay. It's amazing how it calculates and modifies online condition. That's your data stream. Now each data stream represents you. Okay. This all lines, its position location, space and only. Time sequencing, time codes. All right. So think of your phone as an operation system. It's a base command system, but the data stream is what you send out through transmitting and receiving. Okay. Transmitting equals receiving. Okay. In calculation. Now the center point line center has its battery. Now there's a battery that charges your phone communication system. Right. Understanding the data stream line center is all levels of view. The track interference basically it's kind of like buzzing the tower. Okay, opens up light signals and position locations. All right. And this through equation. Right. So to understand the operation line center, when it comes into the lacing lines, now you understand each lacing line represents its own power position location. It integrates its high line center when it comes into encryption to description. So it high channels its high line center. It forms its position locations at levels of box centers in communication to a system. Okay, let's start off with that. Okay, you got 3 line centers of channel T reception lines, coloration, interference, and position locations. Now this channels your line connection to your voice box position. Okay, so it's amazing. I'm going to set up 3 line centers of T reception lines. Okay, all division locations to a battery reset line connections, all identification to your code streams. See how it's coming together? As it's forming line center, you have 1 line center of left and 1 line center of right. Now that opens all line communications to all levels. Okay, at high positions are high line centers. Modification to a system. So as it's coming into the linkage chain, you're setting up your own travel timeline center. Okay, because it's all about understanding how to use the encryption to its description to your voice box channel, because your voice travels to space. As it's traveling to space, it's setting up a digital line interference in position locations, right? When you come into code signals, code activation, code streams, code centers. Okay. So it's amazing how it comes into one position location to understand what it is through track center. Space is extremely complicated in all formation to its position. All right. So as you're coming into higher line realm interference line conditions, you go into higher levels of T reception line. So you understand how it's all set up through box system, box location, box interference. Now it programs its high line center. Okay. So when you come into a line center, you come into all position locations, right, to the battery. Then that battery recharges line centers and comes into the lacing lines of higher levels of programs to its voice and grid pattern. We color in the rotation system to its calculation. These resets timeline center to space into higher division locations of its construction. So it's amazing how satellites are set up in position locations to all levels to your simulation. As I'm coloring in the box line centers, this is coming into a cubic interference. Now the cubic interference is all line position locations. Okay. Now you got 3 track line centers in all position locations. All right. Spider op communication, optical line rotation interference, because that's what it looks through calculations. When you look at it through formation line center, you can actually see through its intelligent line system. Ooh-ah. So understand all line centers and how to use the data stream line centers. It comes into a road graph. Now that road graph comes into communication with the sun. The sun sets up the light of the teleportation light signals, and the moon sets up new program setting, rotation, interference, location, your thought patterns. It's getting complicated, isn't it? So as you go into hardline center and interference line position locations, the realms of the box line centers come out in high signal to a new antenna position, right? As it's coming out position location, it high signals its platform. It sets up a new stream center in highline center, releases all old code signals in positions to new airline channels into communication, airwaves and highline center rotation interference and navigation signals. It opens all line center rotations to a new lacing line position location, a new TV reception line centers to a new program setting position location to its moon. It high channels its highline center. Now I'm doing 2 vector lining rotations to TV reception line connections of rainbow activation stream centers. It's open up code signal location to its box round system. 3 division line tactics and highline center rotation to its optical system. Ooh-ah. Now, this is how space and time is set up. Now, when you come into communication cycles, it's all about resetting your position of program setting, coming into the lacing line rotation into a new T reception box system location. All right. So you got space channels and you got time frequency, time codes, time activators to all line connections. This is a true understanding when you come into wall graph interference. It line strips its position locations. All right. It high channels its high line center in all position locations. Right. As it comes into formation, it comes into new division tactic. See the antenna line center? A streamline center of the data stream interference line connections, all right? So you have the main server and you have the data streams, all right? So it's amazing how everything is set up position location to your equation line center to box frequency to times pi. Stream interference to data line center opens all track locations to your data reset. Now, this is where it comes into new space anomaly to track system locations. I'm sorry? So that's why it's so important how things are set up through its equation. So how's everybody doing so far? All right, where are we? I told you it's going to be very complicated with me now. Every day is a different day with me of where I am. So... okay, I'm in the nexus of all the wiring, the brain, the sitting, the command center, console, so many TV panels. That's exactly what it is, Jill. Perfect row wiring. All today's seeing some running lines to each command center. Essential, very good. Original crypt, yep. Has been reached. Yeah, Rainer, you got a new monitor. So, yeah. So everything you do through travel, you're fixing your position location or wiring line centers. It's deposit valves, connection all levels. It voice grids its communication system. It sets a new data stream of its code system. All right, so you have to know exactly how to use this every single day of your life and how space is set up. I'm just showing you how it's all levels, its position locations. All right, triangle space of peace is being installed. Great. I see computer screens and keyboards and codes. Well, that's what you're seeing there, DreamHack. That's good that you're seeing this, the locations. Traveling through the data stream and the quantum computer systems and following the connections back to Vega. All right, command center is connected, ready for power. Data was ready. Rebooting keyboards, reorganize pixel formations, resetting light code, scrambler, firehorse, watched all systems. So try to understand that all communications, all levels of universal line center is you through calculations. Your heart reactor is just a program setting to all level position location to its central system. The command center of all line centers is space-time. Okay, so. All right, making sure all connections are complete, sending codes to systems, making sure our firewalls, blocks, and quantum block chains are able to remove as needed. Very good. Connect to new libraries, data streams, some of the connections. Yeah. So being in the center operation of your own data stream is very informative. It gives you position locations, what you're using through your vector cores and your command system. It's all electrical lights of computing high system line connections, right? So it's very powerful when you're traveling through this. Recalibrating all new systems, inputting yin and yang balance, sonar, blasting in. Oh, that's good. So you guys are connecting. Get a true understanding how things are set up, right? Then you understand all levels why it's so important to understand your own lines or your data streams and how it's all connected inside you through codes. Codes is reference of everything. So it's all about traveling of time, position, recognition of timeline center, but it's amazing how things are set up in space and time position. All right. So, yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's a city of data stream and wire connections. Very good, Gypsy. That's exactly what it is. See, you know exactly what you're seeing. So this is going to help you out more inform exactly what it is through you. Is you are creating your own space lines and you're creating your own position locations of your data connections. Now you're going through my space time positions, but the thing is too is that you're trying to find your own connections to your own phone reception. You start with the phone and you go through the wires. You go through the wires, you set the area code line center to 7-digit platform. That communicates to anything through a clearing call, a telephone communications, a tele-waving line centers, a telegraphing line centers, a teleport unit line interference in position locations to understand what all levels of space and time is to your system. Okay? All universal round line centers, nothing but code signal locations. All right? Magnetic highway information system to calculations. So this is all it is. This is all it is. Okay? This is a data stream of you location. That's all it is. So in channel comes into align connections, particle lights, communication cycles, resetting line centers, interference locations, pocket channels, communication, cell generation, light centers, rotations of particle system. It's all position location to you, right? So as it comes into streamline center, this is how you come into align interference. Let's get 4 waving patterns. Now you come into position location. This is you through channel, okay? This is you getting data stream locations of all energy light through your thought patterns. Okay, so as it going in there, it's line signaling into the mind line rotations in position location. See how it channels in? Opens up the 8-line rotation. See the 8-line rotation. Opens up the crown line center. Opens up the position. And then it comes stripped down line center rotation right to the ground interference. Opens all plateau interference line condition. Open all line center to out line condition interference. Program location to its calculations. How the data stream is set up is in signal interference location to its calculations of this, the modification. So as you come in your data streams, you're voicing your grid line centers in position locations, right? Magnetic highway information channels into all levels of clouds, right? You guys are coming into your membranes to cloud centers, into the power recognition of time to its ground interference. Now the analyze center sets its own position location to a high system. You come into your E-field line centers. You got to protect those, right? So we come into a line. Identification code connections. All right, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There it is to highline center of the atom position. Now the atom position locations highline system comes back in division location to the mind line center, sends all the information back to the data stream position location. Electrical line, electrical wire interference, sets waving system location, the bring waving pattern line, electrical light conditions, the cloud interference, the cloud line channels and position locations, all levels, opens all line connections to all communications of your cloud system. Ooh-ah. That's what goes on every single day through your data stream. So in modification signals, you have to truly how to set up all position locations, and it all starts with your phone set indication. All right, it's really really understanding how to use the transmitting and receiving information to your calculations. Right, it's very powerful, right? So
I didn't find powerful on Apple Music.
Syria, she likes to join. So how we all doing here? Getting a better understanding? I just want you to understand how to control your mechanisms of space and time, and it's all through magnetic highway information system. That's what's given to you. What is your uploads? What are your downloads? What's your upgrading? And what is your calculation, your uplink keys? Okay, this all puts you in position locations, what it is. Transmitting and receiving. Okay, you're transmitting out and receiving. That's all you're doing every single day. And it's all connected to the 1%, which is a full reaction location of your 12 DNA track center. In calculating a modification system, you're using a motion line in rotation to its graph interference, Schumann resonant location coloration pattern. Now the data stream is sets up position locations to letters, numbers, and symbols. Now it's all about understanding where you are in division location. Are you intercepting? Are you interfacing? Are you interlinking? Are you interconnecting? Are you into highline centers to the galactic inner line in position? Are you interchanging? Are you modifying? Are you calculating? Are you symbolizing? Everything in calculation is the levels in you through the inline rotation interference. Its position locations all levels of you through your 12 DNA track system. But you have to understand the emotional track interference because it's all levels of a feeling. That feeling opens all track system. That puts you in a highline center position location to its calculation modification system to your data stream. Okay? All level system line centers that set up position locations of space and time. Okay? So, lots to learn, lots to learn, lots to learn. Okay, let's see. Resorting triangulation, all connected command centers, alignments, 100s, all connected now. Great, excellent. Seeing how XRP will not only yet digital cross. And again, you guys get a better understanding what block and chain is, what a crypto line center is, what is a crypto interference, what's a block and chain line center, what's a block line channel interface. What does it all calculate and what does it all mean? Well, you have to learn because you have to understand how to travel through it. And then you understand, okay, I understand what it is now through a magnetic highway. Because that's what space and time is, it's just a magnetic highway to everything. It's understanding the calculation modifications you get from here, how to set it up, through code signal location, top rotate line centers, boom, traveling right through it, right? So when you're traveling right through it, you're going through a coil, right? You're going through a realm, okay? And you're going through vortex line connections, all levels, okay? Spotting communication cycles, resetting line centers of wire position location, identification code streams. It's all about understanding how to use yourself through all levels of crypto communication, right? So that's the understanding how you go through wire. You have to truly understand what it is, right? Through simulation. True understand all calculation modification to your hologram structures is all about understanding you through your avatar, how to voice your grid line centers, how to set up program setting, how to set up command centers, how to set up anything through Plateau. All right. It's all done through travel. Okay. Reconnecting portals of phone, data connections, setting up any defense portal. So this is going to help you out a lot more what it is. Right. Especially too, because you guys are coming into all levels of your membranes to your clouds. Once you get in your clouds, you get into more storage, facility locations. Every computer, everything electronic has to have a storage facility, which is cloud, iCloud, eCloud, MP3 holds songs, right? That has its own cloud, right? So that's a storage facility that has a bandwidth, and that bandwidth can just expand over time, okay? That's why it's so important to understand these things through Track Center. So that's exactly what it is, Sammy. Yes, your compass and your indication line in rotation to its crypto, its high center, and its digital screen centers. So it's all about Sambo. You have to truly understand how to calculate and modify all levels of you through your compass and how to use it through all levels of your data stream because you're given information location to its graph system. Okay. Okay, so you get a better understanding what it is now, right? Copy and paste, linking chains. So it's all about understanding what happens with the link. Where does it go? Well, it has to travel, but where does it go? Well, it goes through an IPA, it goes through an IPS, it goes through anything connections. You have to understand the interline line center location to its program setting to its system. The PC unit line centers, it politicals its status line interference location to its location. Truly understanding what you're through in division location is all levels of you through its crypto connections. So it stands on mark and opposition. Yeah, exactly what you're seeing there, Sammy. Yeah, you're seeing things what you need to see foreseen. So storage room for computers and grid and line connects. So yeah, that's exactly what you're seeing, Gypsy. You're seeing what you need to see so you understand their calculations. So right now, everybody's calculating to the membranes of the clouds. your magnetic highway information system, it's transmitting and receiving all information, right? So, and that's how things are set up in space and time through you, all through quantum line centers, quantum channels, quantum's 101, quantum physics highline centers, all communication to a system. Ascension codes, the highline centers, all line conditions, all levels of wires, communication interference line conditions. So it's all channeled inside you through calculations. All right. So anyway, I hope you guys had fun doing that. Seeing where the quantum blocks were moved. You guys are coming more and more. The more you stay in space, the more you come into the position location, how this all started. Right? It's all about resetting the position locations, putting everything back where it's supposed to be from its very high line center to its calculation to its cloud lines of its interfacing position. Okay, so the track line centers. I got to take you guys out because I have somewhere to go. Modifications, center line, and rotations. Any questions or comments, let me know. I will be back sooner than you think. It's important you understand what's going on through wireline rotations. I bring them back to calculations. So I'm going to reset line center locations, all levels. Clock line channels, area code line centers, bring it back to digital locations, back and forth line system. Now you're back. Calculation modification on line stream. Interference location on line conditions you through block and chain system. All right. Wow, that was fun. All right. So all indications are set up. And this is going to help you out more to understand what you're doing through your datas, what you're doing through your uploads, your uplinkings, your inputs, your outputs, your communications, your audio interference, your high line channels, your rotation line conditions, ringing ear, position line centers, eye intercept and interference line conditions, program setting, reset line conditions, all digital line center locations to your identification code streams. Okay. So other than that, guys, have a wonderful day. Adios.